Alastair Campbell steals Greta Thunberg's thunder, and the United Nations woke department gets out of control. Hello everyone and welcome to the second video of the day. Let's talk about Alastair Campbell, the former chief Remainer. He's moved on from Brexit. He's conceded defeat. He doesn't want to be a rejoiner. He's sick and tired of it, but he's found a new cause: climate change. The same guy that didn't really care about it until today. He wants to now get as much attention as Greta Thunberg is getting, and also getting on that gravy train with all the money and free food and free travel. Let's talk about this because he's written this article in The Guardian. What do you expect? That I couldn't stop Brexit, he said, but I could do my bit to save the planet. So he has a new cause. Nothing wrong with it. People have to find new causes. But Brexit is done, so I'm going to have to talk about other things as well on this channel. Everyone does this. The issue that I have with this is Alastair Campbell, over the last few decades in politics, he's never mentioned climate change. He never cared about any of this. He never actually started any campaign or initiated anything on this issue. He just randomly found this as a cause. Very middle class of him. Actually, in this article, he talks about how and why. So he said that anyone who objects, he's been posting photos of trees, and he's been on social media because apparently Georgia Gould, who's the leader of the Camden Council, Labour Party, who's his friend, has come to convince him. Apparently, he says, she was very clear about where she thought my energies should be redirected, which is into saving the planet. So this woman has now, during the Christmas holidays, had a chat with Alastair Campbell and said, you should save the planet because Superman is busy, Batman is somewhere else, and only you can save the planet. Greta Thunberg hasn't been great, apparently. So Alastair Campbell is our new superhero to save the planet. Simple as that. Done. So at least in this article, he did say that having failed to stop Brexit, which had been my resolution for 2016, 2017, and 2018 and 19, what could be easier than succeeding in saving the planet? Now, you think this is bad. I'm not just going to dismiss him, because again, everyone has a right to start any cause that they want. It's just there are a number of issues with this whole campaign. So firstly, he's posted a tree of the day. He's been posting things on Twitter and social media. It was early in the new year after taking a few snaps of trees on Hampstead Heath. Of course it was Hampstead Heath. Yeah, I mean, can you get even more middle class than this? So first, look at this photo. I love it. Absolutely love it. What is going on here? So he now loves trees. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is not just to dismiss him. That's not the point of this. It's to show the idiocy of this new idea. Look at this. So he says, the international reaction to his social media posts has made him think that there should be a tree Olympics. Tree Olympics. He says, I would like to see every country in the world who host its own tree-based reality TV show. That would then go to a global vote, Eurovision style, to find the world's greatest tree. I don't even know what's going on here. So yeah, there's going to be a tree Olympic. Yep. And then that way he's going to save the planet. Let's see what our best friend Greta Thunberg thinks of this idea.
How dare you! You have stolen my dreams and my childhood.
Yeah, well, she's not happy. But jokes aside, Greta Thunberg has gained a lot of attention over the last couple of years. And she clearly cares as a person. And the people around her have been taking advantage of her. And I'm not really into just randomly making fun of a child. But I did check. In 4 days' time, Greta Thunberg will be 18. She will be an adult, officially. So when I start exposing her hypocrisy and idiocy and people around her, no one can accuse me of making fun of a child, because I don't want to do that, but I'm going to wait 4 days to do that. For now, I'm going to leave it to the guys at the Comedy Unleashed.
My name is Greta Thunberg. When I first heard about climate change, sorry, I can do it this way. She doesn't need the microphone. When I first heard about climate change, I could not eat, I could not sleep. I did not want to go to school. What was the point of learning my ABDs and 2 + 2 is 5 when I have climate facts?
Well, if you haven't actually checked out Comedy Unleashed, just Google it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They don't do censorship, it's free speech, great comedy as well. But let's move on, because Greta Thunberg is talking about how the whole health saga in 2020 has proved that science is the only way to save the world. It's interesting how people on the left, like Greta, only use science when it suits them, if you know what I mean. But also she says that we're not listening to climate scientists. That's literally all we're doing. That's literally the whole world, all Western governments, everyone. That's all they're doing is listening to the leading climate change activists, scientists that they have. And I don't understand what she's talking about in this. But when she's backed by people like the United Nations and their campaign groups, I'm not really surprised that the gravy train that these campaigners have, it's better than the European Union, trust me. So, the UN are going really woke. They have UN women. Yeah, that's the thing. They've come up with this thing to show the future, what they ideally want. Equality, obviously, which we all want. But this is just the most idiotic thing I've ever seen. So clearly, the United Nations and UN women are run by 6-year-olds, because this is their blueprint of the world. And I'm slightly confused to see if because it's very diverse, equality. I'm not really sure what's happening. But is it supposed to be a specific land, country, or is this the whole world? Because some of the things that they have, the fashion place, energy center, you won't be able to find it in certain places in the world. It's very, very Western, it's very developed and middle class. But yeah, it's very, very diverse for whatever it is. I'm not really sure what they're trying to achieve, but this is just getting out of hand. We are funding these people to get 6-year-olds to run their departments and organizations. This is an official blueprint of their fantasy land. Absolutely chaotic. Now, speaking of children and fantasies, Jeremy Corbyn is back in a video clip. His brother, Piers, had apparently last night, went to his house, outside of his house, with a couple of other people, not socially distancing or anything like that, and having a chat about what we should do in the country, socialism, all the socialist stuff. At least his brother, Piers Corbyn, is consistent when it comes to his opposition to any of these measures and lockdown. But Jeremy Corbyn, he pretends to care. He goes out to clap for the NHS and all the masks and everything else. He clearly doesn't care. Let's go to this clip because what he's going to say makes absolutely no sense.
Voila. It's the letters in there. We've read it out in public, but you'll like it. It supports you in your struggle against the Labour Party monstrosity.
Oh, thank you.
And the domain name is just you. If you send us an email, we'll transfer the domain name to you, and you can decide what to do with it as appropriate in conjunction with your comrades.
Yeah, comrade. So this is basically a letter that they've sent him to defend him as a fight back against the Labour Party, because they wanted to, they kicked him out and all that. So his brother and all the other commies are there to say, oh yeah, we're going to fight back against the Labour establishment.
What's your message for 2021?
No austerity. Stop the theft of NHS resources by privatisation and outsourcing, and no austerity programme whatsoever. Instead, invest in people, don't freeze wages, and invest in housing, council housing, secure lifetime tenancy council housing.
Okay, okay. So firstly, the reason I said he's like a child is because the guy, his friend, asked him randomly on the camera, so what do you want from 2021? And he just stood there like a kid, it's like in this classroom saying, I want no austerity, I want the NHS. And then he said, I don't want austerity again. Why do you have to repeat yourself? So he doesn't want austerity. Fine. He wants the NHS not to be privatised. He's been saying that for 75 years. Hasn't been privatised. And something about council estates and all that. There's no substance when it comes to Jeremy Corbyn and Corbynism. It's just rhetoric. Makes no sense. People got sick and tired of it. In 2017 it worked, but people got sick and tired of it.
Some people were not happy with my plans to set up a National Health Service medicines company, which would have produced generic,
Manufactured.
medicines,
And much cheaper.
generic medicines for the NHS. Well, South Africa proved that when they did the antiretrovirals.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they didn't. So he's proposing, it's very, very communistic. So we already have the national healthcare system nationalized. And then he also wants to nationalize medicine and pharmaceutical. I know that we have a lot of problems with big pharma. I'm against it. Corporations, big pharma, a lot of issues with it. But do you think that you're going to nationalize it and have bureaucrats running medicine in this country? Didn't even work in South Africa. Stop pretending that it worked.
Santa Claus, how nice of you to visit.
That's a pleasure.
And say hello to Lara.
Well, Santa's there.
It's lovely to see you.
Don't worry about these things.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming
See you.
by.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Cheers.
See you later, Jeremy.
He was going to do the elbow thing, Santa Claus. And then, Jeremy was like, nah, just to shake hands. I know a lot of people are obviously against the measures anyway. But if Piers Corbyn does it, I'm not surprised because he's consistently against it. But Jeremy Corbyn is a virtue signaller. He goes out there in public saying, oh yeah, we should have masks, don't shake hands, social distance, stay at home. He doesn't actually follow them themselves. Right, we had a lot of fun in watching that video and talking about Alastair Campbell's plan. So this video was primarily to just mention what he's going to be doing. But I'm going to keep an eye on it because when we have the facts, I'm going to actually have a counter argument against Alastair Campbell's lobby campaign or whatever he wants to do. It's the same with Greta Thunberg. In about 4 days' time, she's going to be 18. So expect a lot of things on this channel about Greta Thunberg and her best friends. Thanks again for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. A lot of comments I've mentioned in the previous video. People are saying that YouTube have unsubscribed them accidentally. So every now and then, double check that you are subscribed. Also, click on the notification bell next to it and click on all so you get the actual notification. Otherwise, if you don't get it, that means you've been unsubscribed. So do that. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.